Gabbie Hanna's older sister Sharisa has recently exposed Gabbie Hanna yet again. She also acknowledged a mistake she'd made in her previous exposing tweets about Gabby. She claimed previously that Gabby stole her work and made tens of thousands of dollars off it, without crediting her. Well, that was half true, but Gabby did in fact credit her sister in her second book, which Sharisa recently acknowledged, and it almost sounded like she was apologising for missing this.
So anyway, what I really came on for before this happened this morning is that I was wrong. Gabby did credit me for my work, and it's found in the second book, her second book, called Dandelion. I just found that out this morning, and this is what she wrote. I never properly thanked my sisters, Sharisa and Monica, for contributing an illustration each in my last book. Sharisa drew flies, Monica drew dollhouse. I'm so happy I was able to have you be a part of something that was so heavily centered around an experience that only we understand. You both have always inspired me in different ways. In your different forms of artistry, and your artwork was a beautiful contribution to adolescence. So she did. And I'm happy about that. I do wish it would have been in the first book, of course, because I don't think a lot of people noticed in the second book because of how many people now are just recognizing that it's mine. But I just wanted to come on and clear up that she did thank me for my work. It was in the second book called Dandelion, and I appreciate it. So thanks for watching, and I hope John comes home soon, and I hope things can get better somehow. I don't know, but have a great day. I'll see you guys later.
She then tweeted, "This morning I found out that Gabby did in fact credit me for the work I did for her first book. This is a photo from her second book, Dandelion, with her message to Monica and I regarding our illustrations and touching on our personal experiences. These are the illustrations I created for her second book, Dandelion. It was reported in one of the videos on YouTube that none of these were included in the book. I've never looked myself, so I'm not sure." Now, of course, since Sharisa's come out and exposed Gabby, Gabby's other sisters have all been defending Gabby and saying things like Sharisa is toxic, but Sharisa is just not having a bar of it. And the fact that Gabby's own sister is calling her out on her shit. But first of all, Sharisa recently exposed this message that a family member had sent her. "Received this thoughtful message today from a concerned family member. I'd like to hear your thoughts and perspectives. Let's discuss. No one said that you shouldn't be online. I told you a long time ago that anyone could be her in doing what she does. But you can't say things about people and not expect them to do the same. Tell about your life to Asher, but the internet is not your therapist. Things that you would talk to your therapist about shouldn't be online. I want fame and fortune for you. You are very talented. You don't have to be like Gabby. Be better than her. You see what people are doing about her. Don't let what's happening to her happen to you. And could you tell me why you're so against Monica? Calmly, lol. I'm so tired of hearing my life compared to that of my sisters. I've touched on this before. It always has to be picking sides, and it has to be one against another, when we all have similar interests but have different strengths. So it's really apples to oranges. Normalise that." In a since deleted tweet from one of Gabby's other older sisters, Monica, the sister alleged something along the lines of Sharisa her. So after Monica deleted her tweet, she then made a huge post on Twitter trying to expose Sharisa. Cecilia, Gabby's other sister, had also shared this post. "My older sister Monica's story. This has weighed on me for years now, and unfortunately it's time for me to say my piece, especially now that Sharisa is dragging more people into it daily. She wanted to make things public, so as much as I hate it, I guess that's where it has to happen. Our whole lives we've been raised to walk on eggshells, to watch what we say to certain people so they don't out on us, to be nice because they're sensitive or had a hard time growing up, etc. But the fact of the matter is we all had a hard time, but we're not children in a setting we can't control anymore. We're adults. We need to take accountability. When I was little, I had a bad relationship with my siblings because of the environment in which we were raised. We didn't learn to love one another. We didn't learn proper communication. We didn't learn the value of peace, or that peace could even exist. We didn't learn the right way to handle conflict or emotions like jealousy or we all had a rough start. The difference is some of us grew, we learned, we worked on bettering ourselves, we reflected, we tried to change our bad habits and go against our nature to out, to hurt, to damage. Sharisa did not. She plays the victim at every chance and ignores the countless times people have helped her and been there for her no matter what. We've had to tiptoe around her since we were little. I was beaten up by her regularly, left with slaps so hard my skin would literally bubble. We were children and children fought. I had to endure being screamed at, lied to, from, but we were teens and teens are moody. Then I had to endure being teased in my own apartment. When we were adults, when I let her live with me, she would my fiance and I and tell us we were annoying and have no friends. She would all day long, even when I would beg her not to, because if I got caught with that in my apartment, I would lose my teaching certification that I was working so hard toward. She slept with strangers in my bed when I was suffering with germophobia, and she knew how bad that would affect me. But I knew how she was raised, how I was raised, the hard time she had, and after all, she was my sister and I love her. She's family. Eventually, I had to deal with the wrath of her jealousy, or who knows what, when I got married. She tried to ruin my wedding by screaming and insulting the bartenders who cut her off. She threw and belittled them. She poured red nail polish all over brand new marble floors that I was later billed for, before being escorted out. I had to deal with of the excitement and joy of telling my husband's family we were expecting our first child because she had bet us to it. She told people who were strangers to her that I was pregnant, which I found out by the congratulations we received. The sound of sadness in their voices they tried to mask because they didn't hear it from us is something I'll never forget. But she was my sister and I love her and I chose to forgive her. Then I had to deal with her jealousy that I hadn't chosen her as my daughter's godparent. She messaged me saying she hates that she had to lose a sister over it and cut me out of her life if she wasn't chosen. She didn't understand why Gabby could be good enough to be a godparent to my first daughter 6 years prior, yet she wasn't. She went on to tell me everything she despises about Gabby and tried to point out all the faults of my own. She called me awful names and at me, telling me I was delusional, only to later turn to the internet to post humiliating pictures of me and insults towards me on Instagram. She took screenshots of texts, took them out of context and manipulated them, saying I don't respect her way of practicing religion, when the fact of the matter is she simply wasn't a member of a Catholic church and couldn't be a godparent at the time. What breaks my heart the most is that I wanted to ask her to be the godmother if she was willing to start going to church again. She chose her to me instead, once again, like always. But she was my sister and I love her, so I let her back into my life. I invited her to come to the family gatherings I host for holidays so she wouldn't miss out on being with family, and so her son, my nephew, would get to enjoy the magic of the holidays surrounding my family, food and love. I would later get called pure by her on the internet for doing so. She made up stories about my little sister on the internet to get her career ruined and ruin her life. And although she was my sister and I love her, it got harder to forgive because family, sisterhood and love apparently didn't mean the same to her as it meant to me. Me is one thing, hurting all the people around me that I love is another. She recently cut us all out of her life and tried to repeatedly say we were cutting her out, despite us repeatedly telling her that we weren't. She was upset we didn't share a trailer for her movie she was excited about. She approached us about it, telling us we were going to be cut out of her life and have all hurt her so much over the last 5 years, instead of listening to our reasoning why we hadn't yet. It was my Valentine's cookies and treats sale. I wanted to wait until after the sale was over. She attacked. She told me. She told little sisters, mine as I might add. She swore at them, berated them, talked to them in a way I wouldn't talk to my worst enemies. But she's my sister and I love her, so I want to forgive. I want to give the chance for change and growth. But eventually you realise people have to want to change. They have to want to grow. They have to want to learn. This recent act shows that she doesn't want that. She wants 5 minutes of fame. I know she says that she doesn't, but why else create Twitter dedicated to being your own family? Why else bring every text message you receive from a concerned family member to the internet? Why else create a Twitter for the sole purpose of joining the party, hate on Gabby and now Cecilia? She wants what she thinks she should have instead of Gabby. So after reading all that, what are your thoughts on Gabbie Hanna and her sister Sharisa and Gabby's other sisters who are defending Gabby? Let me know in the comments. Now lastly, Gabby's sister Sharisa took to her Twitter live stream once again to expose more things former fans have told her about what Gabby has said to them about Sharisa over the years.
So I'm still grappling with a lot of the things that have happened and things that I've found out about my sister. And As I had said in the second book, she did credit me and Dandelion for my work, The Fly. The problem is, a lot of problems with that, but the problem that I came on to talk about real quick today is how many former fans of hers, and I appreciate you so much, have been coming to me directly and not only apologizing, which is thank you so much, but also telling me that for years now, my sister has been calling me crazy. She said apparently that I was going to try to steal her spotlight, and I have been told before when I tried to get the word out about my art the first time about 2 years ago, and I was attacked and annihilated by the stands at that time. She was then telling people that don't believe Sharisa if she says that she did the art. She's lying. She's going to try to say it's mine. These are, and I will post later. I'm just very tired and overwhelmed by all of this because, and you can see online if you're still on Facebook, if you're on my Instagram by chance, I have always hyped my sisters, every single one of them, supported them, and loved them. And I just had no idea that she had really put information out like this about me. And it's been years, and it's been over the time that I was blindly supporting her and talking about her. And I'm finding this out. So, as much as it hurts, if you have these messages by chance from even just 2 years ago, I don't know, of her talking about her descriptions of me that I've heard. And that's also why I said, Mama didn't raise no fool, really. And I posted my art that I did for adolescents right on my Instagram 3 months before the book was published. And I did that to ensure myself that if she would come back and try to lie, because I know her, that I would be able to prove her wrong. So that fact and what I'm hearing directly corroborates with that time period and what I was saying and what her reaction was. And that reaction is, again, the same type of attack she's done to dozens of other people at this point, and we know that. So I'm just completely devastated. I'm surprised. I feel betrayed. And just every day it gets worse and worse. But anyway, thank you for watching. You know, I'm not a YouTuber type thing. I just wanted to come on and share the facts that I've been finding out that do back up what I was saying about her. She was going to honestly take it and call me a liar if I wouldn't have posted it on Instagram. If I wouldn't have posted my art on Instagram before it was in the book, she was fully prepared to allege that I had copied her, which that's what she texted me. And she wasn't able to do that because I did ensure myself that way, because she's not smarter than me. So, thanks for watching. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will talk to you all soon. Thank you, Avery. I'm trying my best, but I gotta get to work.
So what are your thoughts on all this drama? Have your thoughts on anyone changed? Let me know in the comments.